Not gonna forget it today.
I turned it on for you the other day. I don't know if you
Yep,
noticed.
you did. Thank you.
Somebody always has to remind me. It's like I wrote it down.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll get started here in just another minute or two as we have folks joining us. Happy Thursday afternoon.
Happy little Friday.
Just another minute. We'll see if we have a few more join us. Got one more getting her audio set up. All right, I have 2 o'clock on the dot, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. I'll turn my camera on for just a minute to say hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Beth Ponder with Train PD at TCAL, and I'm joined today by Deborah Hargrove and Krista Mosher on our team who are helping me with the session today. And this really is going to be very informal, kind of an overview of what you're going to expect going into a hybrid conference for the Fall Institute. So please feel free to, we will have ample opportunities for you to ask questions, and we will hear from Creative Cannon, who is the videographer that is going to be streaming the hybrid sessions for us for the TWC conference. So there's David Martinez and his team. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my camera off for bandwidth and then go ahead and get us started. So again, welcome and thank you for being willing to present. We had a rich, wonderful group of presentations for the Fall Institute this year, so we're really looking forward to it. So just kind of overview, we'll be at the DoubleTree Hotel in Austin, and that is the DoubleTree that's at Highway 290 and I-35. Pre-conference day will be on September 19th. We will not be streaming that day. Those will only be in-person sessions. And then the conference itself will be September 20th through the 22nd. And those entire 3 days will be streamed. So it will be a hybrid for that entire time. Here's the link if you have not already registered. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hargrove here in a little bit, and she's going to kind of take us through and show us what the website looks like that's attached to that. So we just want to kind of go over with you, what does this hybrid thing look like? And what can you expect when you get there? So the platform for the participants that are coming in virtually will be Zoom. The virtual participants will be joining through the vFairs app. So they'll be able to launch the session from the vFairs app and participate that way. I mentioned Creative Cannon is our videographer, and they'll be streaming the presentations into the Zoom room. The Zoom room will be open for you when you go into the room for your session. We'll have a team that will already have it open for you. You will need to, once you get your presentation up and going, you'll need to share your screen. The chat and participant pods will not be open on the presenter's Zoom screen. And we'll talk a little bit more about how that's going to work here in just a minute. So who's going to help you? Who do we have on our team that's going to be helping you? So first off, there'll be a host. That host is going to be in the Zoom room hosting the session. They will not be on site. They will either be here in College Station or in a room somewhere offsite at the hotel. And they will take care of all of the participants that are in the Zoom room. Now, if you are going to need to use breakout rooms, please let your host know so they can be prepared for that. You will also have a co-host, and your co-host will actually be in the training room. So they will have a laptop that's set up specifically for them. They'll be logged into the Zoom room, and they will also have a handheld mic. So the co-host in the room is going to be watching the chat for you. And if there's a question that comes through a virtual participant, the co-host will raise their hand, mute themselves, and ask the question using that microphone. So you will have some interaction with the participants that are in the Zoom room. Third, you will have a room facilitator. Every room has someone assigned to it. And I want to thank so many people for volunteering to help out with the room facilitation. We have TWC staff, we have Career Pathways PDC staff, statewide PDC staff, and distance education PD staff that are all helping fill these roles. The room facilitator will have a microphone to get questions in the room. And I want to reiterate that for just a moment. Because we're doing this hybrid, one of the things we always have to remember is we've got people in the Zoom room and we've got people in the room. And if someone asks a question in the live room, but doesn't use the mic, then the people in the Zoom room cannot hear it. So we ask you as our presenter to kind of keep that in mind and see if we can get people to actually speak into the mic. Your room facilitator will also have the evaluations, and the room facilitator will scan participants out of the room. Now, what that means is we're doing something a little different this year. In the past, we've done like sticker cards, and you have a sticker that shows you attended that session. Using the vFair app, the room facilitator will now be scanning participants. They will have a QR code on their badge that we will scan them out of the room, and that's how we will keep track of participation. Now, there also on the screen, you see 2 telephone numbers, and that's my cell phone and Deborah Hargrove's cell phone. So if you have any issues, problems, questions on the day of, please feel free to call or text either one of us. We will be there and on site. So what do you need to do as a presenter? You need to come with your presentation on a thumb drive. All right, we will have the presenter, all the equipment set up for you. We will have a laptop, we'll have a clicker, we'll have a mouse, and the laptop will already be on in the Zoom room and connected to a projector. Okay, so all you need to do is bring your thumb drive. We ask that you start and end your presentations on time. We are using the Zoom rooms offered by vFair, which is the company that's running the app, but they need to switch rooms between sessions. So it is very important that we start and end your presentation on time. Another note, the way that's going to be set up is you will only have the laptop to look at. So you will not be able to see your presenter notes on the laptop. You will need to print out your presenter notes if you need notes to go by. And there are lots of different ways to do that. Some people like to have a little binder. You can look at it on your phone, but you will not be able to see the presenter notes on the monitor. Again, please use the microphone. You will have a mic as well. I believe we have lavaliers for all of you so that you can still move around. But again, respecting those participants that are in the Zoom room, we ask that you please use the microphone. If for some reason, and this will happen, I promise, that somebody who's physically in the room shouts out a question before we can get a mic to them, we're asking you as the presenter to please repeat the question so that we know that the folks that are in the Zoom room are have the information that you are responding to. Okay, so if you could repeat the question, we'd appreciate that. And don't forget those virtual participants. I know once we get up there and we start, getting really into our content, sometimes it's easy to forget that they're there. So I want to make sure that everybody's thinking about those virtual participants. All right, just a few other tips, things to be keeping in mind. Think about how you're engaging your in-person and virtual participants. If you have an activity or a poll, use a tool outside of Zoom. So that way your participants that are physically there in the room can participate as well as your virtual participants. So for instance, using Slido or Mentimeter. I mean, I think we've all discovered all of these wonderful tools that we can use for those kinds of things. So let's keep that in mind. And also, I know this is sometimes hard, but please provide that wait time after an activity or a question stop. So that will give your participants online time to type in their question. It will give the co-host time to read those questions and then ask it of you. And then, so just be cognizant of using that wait time, okay? So I'm going to stop right there before I turn it over to Creative Cannon and turn it over to Deb Hargrove for just a minute. Deb, I'm going to stop sharing. Would you like to kind of walk us through the what the app looks like?
Sure. Give me just a moment. Hi, everybody. So hopefully all of you have already been to the website. Let me turn my camera off. I just wanted to say hi. Happy Little Friday. Hopefully you've already been to the website here. I do want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you'll find when you log in for the first time after you've registered. You can simply log in here at the top right or here on the bottom where it says click here to log in. You'll put your email address in. And the password that you created. And that'll bring you to our wonderful page that welcomes you to this year's Fall Institute. We've been able to add a couple of new pictures. You'll see some familiar faces as we've gone to some pictures from last year's event. Thankful to Creative Cannon for taking all those photos. We're able to use those in some of our marketing materials. So once you get here as a presenter, you should, I believe, be able to go to the sessions by day. So you'll see right here, you've got September 19th. This is that pre-conference day, September 20th. You just click the tab. And what you can do is add it to your schedule or remove it from your schedule. You can see that I've added some things to my schedule. I can add them or I can turn around and remove them, which is really nice. There should be, and I need to look this up for you as presenters, there should be a way. I think I have to do a report that tells you how many people are going to be in your session. Generally, it's averaged about 30. Except for the opening keynotes and stuff with Mahalia. So when you're planning your handouts, plan 30, maybe 40. We've got 246 people registered on site and 100 and give or take a handful virtually. So we're really excited about that. But I wanted to talk to you about the app. So there is right here, we're going to have these two QR codes on a poster outside of the registration table, as well as we're going to send this out next week with some other highlights to get everybody ready for the conference. If you want to go ahead and download the app now, all you have to do is point your Apple device on the top QR code. That's the Apple user-friendly one. And on the bottom is the Android user-friendly QR code. That will take you to the vFairs app. Then you'll pick the conference, Fall Institute 2023, and you'll be presented with a page that is seems like an exact replica of what you see here. You'll see all of the different sessions under an agenda. I need to bring that up. I don't think I brought that up last time. Well, I'll have to bring it up in just a minute when David's done. But there's a page that shows you all the different sessions. There's a leaderboard that we're going to do. We talked about already at Mahalia's session. And there's a way that you can check into different sessions. Now, handouts you should have already provided to us because we're getting those all accessible. We will be the ones to upload those for you. So, hopefully you've already turned all that stuff in. I think that's it, Beth. What am I missing?
I think that's great.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we may have some questions when we get to the question slide.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Deb. I appreciate
Sure.
that.
Sure.
All right, let me get back to our PowerPoint for just a minute. Okay, one other piece I wanted to mention to you all before we move on and invite our Creative Canon folks to talk to us a little bit about the streaming piece is we do strongly recommend that you have a support person to assist you as you present. So have a buddy. You can have a buddy that's with you at the session in person, or a buddy that's back at your program, maybe somebody who wasn't able to come with you, that has a copy of your PowerPoint, that can watch the chat for you, that can already have access to all the links and can put links into the chat for you. Now, we have a lot of folks, we've got 3 people assigned to every single room, but there is a lot going on. So it is really helpful. If you have a co-presenter, it could be, you guys could switch off so you could have the computer in the room and be logged into Zoom. But we just encourage you to have somebody to help with you. Okay. So I'm going to ask the Creative Canon team to come on and talk to us a little bit about how to be prepared for the streaming part of this hybrid session.
Not much of a team. It's just me. Sorry.
Just David today.
So this year is going to be really awesome. It's going to be really easy. Nothing's going to go wrong because we have a good team, and that includes everybody over there, Deb and Beth. So the cool thing is also is that we're going to have about 30 minutes between sessions. So if you've never done this before, we have plenty of time, plenty of people that's going to be able to help you out with this. But if you're going to be on camera, you see the slide there. The question is, what do I do? Well, speak into the microphone. You're going to have the option to have a wireless lav that works better if you have a shirt. You can stick the wire down, pull out the bottom, and put the pack on the back of your pocket or inside of a jacket. Or you can walk around with a stick mic. That's going to be really easy. Either one, whichever one you prefer. If you're going to wear a wireless mic, we ask that you watch your jewelry. So that means bracelets, earrings, and necklaces. Also, try not to tap your chest. People at home or wherever they are will hear that. And if you've got some dangly jewelry, then it's going to be a nuisance, and it's going to cause some problems for those people. As far as what to wear, we ask for dark clothing. If you're going to wear a white shirt, try to wear a jacket over it. We try to avoid patterns just because cameras do different things with patterns and stripes and that type of thing. So might be a little distracting if you wear something that that causes a distraction. If you're not sure what to, if you have something already picked out and you're not too sure if that's going to be an issue, feel free to find any of us that have, the Creative Canon shirt on, come up, ask us. We've never had anybody say or had to go back and change. So you should be fine. But if you have any questions, feel free to come up and ask. Like I said, we're going to have like 30 minutes between sessions, and we're going to do a countdown at the back of the room. So we will find the presenter, and we will be in touch with the co-host and the host, and we will let that presenter know, hey, we're about 5 minutes out. We're about 2 minutes out, 3 minutes out, 2 minutes out, 1 minute. We'll let you know as we get closer. And then we'll count down just to keep on track with the schedule. So you'll see one of us at the back of the room count down from 10 to 5 and so on. And so, yeah, it'll be really, really easy. You'll be able to move around the room. Like I said, if you, we do ask that you try to not walk in front of screens. So for example, if there was a big screen here, we try to ask you to not walk in front of it. The contrast between yourself and a big old white screen could create just it would just make you look just dark. So that's one thing that we try to ask you to not do, but you should be able to move around. As far as where the cameras will be, the setup, if I'm at the back of the room with a desk, then there'll be a camera next to me here to my left or my right. And then halfway up in the room, there will be another camera that we can turn around and we can look at some of the attendees there, to just kind of mix it up a little bit between the slides, the back of the room, that camera, and then the other camera. So should be nice and smooth. Like I said, 30 minutes. Everybody's got plenty of experience with helping those people that have never done it before. And if you have any questions, feel free to just come up and ask any of us. And I had some coffee.
All right. Thank you, David.
You bet.
All right. So that's the end of the kind of prepared piece that we had for you as presenters. So now at this point, it's your opportunity to ask questions. So I'm going to open it up. We're not a great big group, so if you would like to unmute, that's fine. Or if you want to put a question in the chat, we're happy to address anything that we can. So I'll take my own advice and try and wait a beat and see if anybody has questions. Maria.
Hi, good afternoon. So I just want to let you guys know that I didn't realize there was going to be a QR code, which is great, but I know sometimes people have problems with scanning the QR code. So last week, actually, I went to the apps and just put the VFairs app on my phone. And when I put in my email and password, it automatically opened up Fall Institute for me. So, you know, that could be another, that could be another way that if people are having a hard time scanning the QR code, they can just download the app on their phone and sign in.
You mean just go to the Apple Store?
Yes. Yeah. I have iPhone, so I just went to the I went to Apple apps or whatever and put in VFairs and it came up.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Beth, if I could share, I do have quickly the screenshot of what the app will look like on your phone.
All right. I've stopped share, and Millamab, if you can hold on just a moment, I'll get your question as soon as Deb is finished.
Yeah, this is just real brief. Just want to show you what it looks like. This is basically what it looks like. This happens to say Cambridge because that was one of the vendors that it's passing by, you know, actively while I'm making a screenshot. But these are the tiles that you'll see on the app. It's the agenda, which has all those sessions, the exhibitors and their booths, a list of all the attendees, scavenger hunt, a leaderboard, things that we've talked about. You'll be able to do a live chat with other people. And then we do have those of us who are room facilitators who will be scanning your participants out. Will use the menu part of the app in order to scan using that. But this is what it should look like when you get that on your phone. That's all I wanted to share.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Millamab.
Yes, this is Mary Milan. We had put in on our application that we were going to have a panel. There's several of us presenting, and we were going to have a table. Does that change up how we do anything?
I will have to go back and look. Mary, what was your last name again?
Milan, M-I-L-L-A-N.
Okay. I will go and check my spreadsheet when we're done here. And how many presenters do you have? Do you remember?
We have 3.
3 presenters?
Yes.
Okay.
Beth, Mary's with TWC.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And it's subrecipient monitoring.
Okay. So you want to table. Okay. I will check on that as soon as we are done. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
All right, Veronica.
Good afternoon. I do have a question, and it's more for clarification. As individuals attend the sessions and we're scanning them out, if they're having issues with being scanned out, do we have an alternative for that?
Well, not really. We haven't had, knock on wood, we haven't had an issue with the QR codes scanning out. We could probably have.
Monica, that's how we did it at the DLTI, and it went really well.
So it's a good question though, Veronica. So we are going to have a walk-in sheet. we'll probably have some extras made just for that backup, just in case something happens.
Okay, I was just clarifying. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Claudette,
Hi, this is a question based on an experience from last year. If we, for example, have our PowerPoint presentation and we also do some type of collaborative board or a Mentimeter, will we be able to directly share it or will we have to move the screen?
well, I think let me see if I can help Claudette, because the way we had it set up last year was that in order for people to be able to see their presenter notes, we set up the projector as the second screen. We're not going to do that this year because we had a lot of issues with people who were having a hard time with doing that kind of switching back and forth, going out onto a website, coming back. So I think we have solved that for this year. I'd be happy to try it out with you at some point if you wanted to come by. One of our team will be around. We should have everything set up. I'm not sure, David, when we'll have everything set up, but maybe during lunch that first day after Mahalia is done, I'd be happy to practice with you.
And I
Okay.
think Ashley might have something she wants to share.
No, I was just gonna say, Claudette, it would be pretty much just like doing a normal webinar for you. So it's exactly the same. So, sometimes how with PowerPoint, we have to do a reshare to get to the Mentimeter or whatever you're using. So it's gonna be identical to that. You're just gonna have a live audience in front of you as well.
Okay, thanks. I think that just like Beth explained it, the issue last year is the way they had it set up so that the
Yes.
presenter notes, but since that's not an issue, then it would be a direct share. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would just add to that at DLTI this year, it was so smooth compared to Fall Institute because we did not do it that way. So I think you're gonna have a much easier experience doing it this way. That's all I was gonna say.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. And Ashley and Rena from her team will be floating for us this year. So in addition to the host, co-host, and room monitor that everybody has, we've got some people that are set aside to kind of float through, make sure the presenters have everything they need, everything's working, kind of tech support, some of those things, as well as the Creative Canon team who've been really great with that kind of support. So I think we're in a good place to support you all this year. Any other questions? I know I set aside an hour for this, just depending on how many questions we had, but I think that, we may be able to give you back about a half hour of your life. May we see the QR code again, please? Deb, do you still have it where you can share that?
Yep. Give me just a second. Hold on.
You're fine.
I'm
Lori,
multitasking.
while she's doing that, do you have anything you want to add?
Just that I think we're having a meeting at 9 in the morning for AEL just to cover room monitor responsibilities and any clarifications.
Yeah, and I'll send out an invite to the TWC staff after this.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They try to make it a little bigger. I don't know which one. I made it smaller. So here's the Apple one. I'll leave it up for a minute. And then this one right here on the bottom is the Android one.
Harris says she was able to get to the Google store for VFairs. Cool.
Great. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll leave the room open for a few more minutes in case somebody else has another question, but otherwise that's what we had for today. And we look forward to seeing everybody in person and are just looking forward to having a really great learning experience. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, Beth.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey, Beth, we'll join that in the morning.
Okay. Well,